What's going on, everyone? Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here with some winners and losers from OTAs. Now, I cannot be more sarcastic about there actually being winners or losers. It's just another format or another way to take in the news from organized team activities. Now, some ground rules. These are optional practices. So if your favorite player is not there, do not get too upset. I am a believer in optional means mandatory unless you have something else going on, but that's just a Peterson household rule. There are non-contact drills going on here, so you're not going to get any real takeaways in terms of how the defense is looking and whatnot. You are just running through the offense and defense. Coaches are installing new things, a new DC in Atlanta for the rookies and first-time players. That's what OTAs are really for. It is May. You do not win games in May, nor in June, not even July. Or guess what? Even August. So it's just May. We are very far away from meaningful football in September. And it's basically just non-padded highlights, right? OTAs are essentially good for a couple great Twitter clips of a quarterback either having a horrible throw or having an awesome throw. And then all of us in May either reacting with, that's going to be an all-pro quarterback or that's going to be a bust right there. So with that being said, do not get too upset. It's just, a jokingly way to break down the news from news and takeaways from OTAs. Okay, I got that off my chest. Our first winner, Desmond Ridder, baby. Yeah, it's Ridder season. Buy in because he's the quarterback this year. Whether you like it or not, I don't see Taylor Heinicke taking the job week 1. So just buy in on Desmond Ridder. Now, before we look at why I have him down as a winner, we have been growing like crazy here lately. Last week, we picked up 176 subs. So thank you to all of our new subscribers. This week, we cooled off a little bit, but let's put the pedal down to the metal once again, and let's up that number 39 closer to 139. Hit the sub button if you have not already. Justin Fielder from Fox tweeting out, it worked, obviously. It was a great tactic. Before new defensive lineman Calais Campbell signed with the Falcons, he wanted to hear more about their quarterback situation. So Arthur Smith said, well, we'll do one better, and popped in Desmond Ridder's film. So if it was good enough for Calais Campbell to come on over to Atlanta, clearly there's some other great veterans out there who they think Desmond Ridder has a good chance of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Now, Kelly Price also adding on to that, saying, Tyler Allgeier on the increased leadership he's seen from Desmond Ridder as QB1, even just in the first week of OTAs. Like with the huddle, a lot of people try to rah-rah and stuff, but with him, it's just natural, just boosting everyone around him. Not going to say it's going to remind me of Joe Montana going, is that John Candy right there during the Super Bowl? But hey, you love to see this type of stuff during OTAs and whatnot because a lot of it is just terminology, getting the lingo down, being efficient in the huddle and not going in there and forgetting what the play is and having to go back to the coach and getting chewed out. A lot of praise coming in for Desmond Ridder. It's just May, but you'd rather get praise than not get praise, right? So whether Desmond Ridder is good or bad, it certainly seems like he is a great leader, which that's what you need in a quarterback. And hopefully the other really important stuff like throwing touchdowns will follow suit. We did not get a whole lot of film last season. Just 4 games, but he definitely improved each and every single week. I think we can all agree on that. 708 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So how good do you think Desmond Ridder will be this season? Scale it 1 to 10. 1 being it's going to be worse than Nathan Peterman's 1/2 against the Chargers. 10 being he's going to make Matt Ryan, look like a XFL quarterback. No one can do that. Not our sweet Prince Matty Ice. But let me know how good you think Desmond Ridder will be. You're not going to believe this. Our first loser is Desmond Ridder. So like I said, they're not real winners or losers. It's just a way to share the information coming out of OTAs. It's the first ever winner and loser, so he gets all the awards. Why is he a loser? Some clips did surface from Desmond Ridder at OTAs, maybe missing, the mark on some of his passes, missing some easy throws, overthrowing guys, underthrowing guys. I don't actually think Desmond Ridder is a real loser coming out of OTAs, but you don't want to see the clips of your quarterback missing what's supposed to be an easy slam dunk with no defense on the field. But to take a page out of Aaron Rodgers' book, RELAX. Sometimes this stuff matters. I remember, for example, Mitch Trubisky really struggled in OTAs and whatnot for the Bears. And that turned out to mean something. Other times, it means nothing. Like Jamar Chase struggled with catching the football in OTAs and training camp and preseason his rookie year. I don't think that matters anymore. So do not make a very concrete stand out of this. But like I said, we do have to report what we're hearing. And Desmond Ridder, from what we are seeing, did miss some easy throws. Let's get on to our second winner, and first time it's not someone named Desmond Ridder, Calais Campbell. So Orlando Ledbetter tweeting out Falcons linebacker Troy Anderson on defensive end Calais Campbell. He's one of the biggest humans I've ever seen. If you've never been to an NFL game, I know it's expensive and it's not just a simple trip to the ballpark like it is for a Braves game, but you think these guys are big on TV, and then you see them on the field and in person, and they are mammoths of human beings. Campbell is going to swallow up opposing quarterbacks. Did Terry Fontenot find this team's longtime edge rusher this offseason? No. At this point, we can say he did not. I don't think that's going to be Zach Harrison, who they drafted, and I don't think they signed anyone who's going to be this team's 10-plus sack getter for the next 3 or 4 seasons. But Calais Campbell's going to do a good job of holding down the fort a little bit, at least for this season, until Fontenot addresses that, hopefully next offseason. He's up there in the age column, but he still was a 5.5 sack player last season, and he's joining a very good defensive line, I think, right? David Onyemata comes over from New Orleans. Grady Jarrett is one of the best in the biz at his job. It's a very veteran group here, right? There are no young developmental players really on this defensive line. You've got a lot of very knowledgeable defensive ends and defensive linemen who know what tricks to use and how to beat offensive linemen to get after the quarterback. So Calais Campbell, I think he's going to have a very good season for Atlanta. Now, if you want to make some money on, maybe not the Falcons, because we've got quite some time until that gets underway, but on, I don't know, Turkish basketball or Polish soccer, whatever your heart desires, BetUS has you covered for the entire NBA postseason, along with the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. So go to chatsports.com/betfalcons and use promo code Falcons125. When you do those two things, they give you a 125% deposit bonus. That's right. So you put $100 in, they match that and give you an additional $25. Make BetUS your official sportsbook partner. Our next loser is Matthew Bergeron. Don't get mad at me in the comment section. He's not actually a loser here, but I just wanted to say Bergeron did start things off with the second unit. So this is just my Weasley YouTuber way of kind of reporting the news and what we're hearing from Flowery Branch. Now, here's what Tori McElhaney had to say. The Falcons' starting offensive line went out with Desmond Ridder for 11 on 11s. It was Matt Hennessy at left guard between Jake Matthews and Drew Dalman. Working on the other field with Arthur Smith during the same period was Matthew Bergeron at left guard with Taylor Heinicke under center. Now, I think this makes a little bit of sense here, right? Arthur Smith wants to see Matthew Bergeron face-to-face, right? He wants to get a good look at him on the other field. Meanwhile, he knows that Matt Hennessy can operate a drill, right? He knows that he knows the playbook, and he can keep the drills moving and not have to stop and start because he doesn't know where he's going. So don't overreact and think, man, that means Bergeron's off to a bad start. No, a lot of times they're just installing new things. So good chance was Arthur Smith said, hey, Bergeron, I know you don't speak that good of English. You're a native French speaker, but let's go over here. And let's talk about the playbook and get you caught up to speed on everything. And, hey, Hennessy, can you go with the ones at least to keep the drills moving here? So I think Bergeron just needs to learn how to play guard a little bit, move from tackle to guard, and maybe that requires some more individual drills and whatnot. And so they're starting things off slow and not just tossing him in with the first-team offensive line when he has no idea what he's really doing out there because he's still getting the hang of not just playing guard, but playing guard for the Atlanta Falcons, right? Learning all the Falcons jargon and terminology and lingo and playbooks and whatnot. That is what OTAs are for, installing everything. It is syllabus week on steroids, guys, so don't overreact, but I do have him down as a loser just because he was with the second team, but he's not a loser. So predict the Falcons' 2023 record. I got roasted when I said 8-9 for this team. They won 7 games last year. They have a FCS schedule this year. So maybe 8-9 does feel low. Maybe I'll flip it to 9-8. But let me know what your record prediction is for Atlanta down in the comment section. Our final victim, if you will, from winners and losers. Tyler Allgeier is a winner, okay? Why would Allgeier be a winner? They drafted Bijan Robinson. Make this make sense, Matthew. Here's why. Kelly Price tweeting out Bijan Robinson getting work at receiver at Falcons OTA. So I think what's going on here is Arthur Smith says, let's just get the most talent we have on the field at the same time, right? So there's some noise going on of Bijan just getting some work in. He's not going to be a wide receiver, but they just want to see, hey, can we draw up some plays and some packages where you move to the slot and we get Allgeier and Cordell Patterson in the backfield, right? Bijan running routes and playing wide receiver allows him and Allgeier to share the field at the same time. So two of your best players are on the field at once, and you don't have to pick one or the other because you know what you don't have? A ton of great wide receivers who are going to be robbed of playing time. Sorry, Frank Darby. I'd rather have Allgeier and Bijan Robinson on the field at the same time than some of these practice squad wide receivers that are going to make the Falcons roster. So get all the talent you can on the field at the same time, right? If you can draw up plays and packages that have Drake London, Matt Collins, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Allgeier, and if I had an extra column, I would add Cordell Patterson on the field at the same time. Those are 5 really good weapons all being utilized at once, rather than forcing an extra wide receiver on there, taking Allgeier or CP84 off the field, and going, well, one of our better players is on the sideline right now. So I like the idea of Arthur Smith getting creative with Bijan Robinson, going, hey, are there some plays where we can move you to slot wide receiver, and we'll add another running back into the mix to the backfield. All right, that's going to do it for us for this show today. Really appreciate everyone taking time out of their evenings and joining us here at Falcons Today by Chat Sports. We'll catch up with everyone later.